So we've already looked at finding the difference between two dates, but what about when we want to compare two dates? This is equally as important, and this is extremely easy. So let's go and just start up a couple of new DateTime instances. We'll pass some dates and times in, and then we'll go ahead and compare them. So let's start with just creating a new DateTime instance here, and we'll directly pass into this a date, and we can again pass it in any kind of format. We've already seen the human readable version. In this case, it's just going to be any old date, and we're going to do this at 12 o'clock specifically. So now what we can do is just go ahead and duplicate this down. We'll maybe call this date 2, and then we'll just change the date around a little bit. So let's say 01, and we'll just get rid of the time for this one. So now the goal is to say, well, which date is bigger, or is date bigger than date 2, or greater than date 2 rather? So in this case, what we can actually do, obviously we're going to use an if statement for this. We are going to say date greater than date 2, and that is it. So here we can say yes, or whatever you want to do in this case, in this block. Now we know that this is greater than date 2 because this is the 25th of December and this is the 1st of December, and we see yes. Now obviously if we were to just switch this around and say, well, is date less than date 2, then we obviously don't see that block run. And of course you can use greater than and equal to, you can use less than and equal to, or any other operators with comparison. Now what about when we want to check specific parts of the date? So for example, let's just go and check this one here, so we'll just get rid of the other one. And I want to say, is the year here greater or say less than 2017, 2018, or is the month, or is the day, anything like that. So the way that we do this, because we can't do something like echo date D, for example, and go ahead and actually get the date out, what we need to do is say format, and let's format the year. So in this case, we get, if we just go and fix that up, we get the following, we get 2016. So with this, what we can do is we can say if this, and we can check if this is maybe less than 2017, and then go ahead and just echo something out. So we'll just say yes, like so. Now the best thing to do here is when you're working with something like this, go ahead and cast it to an integer. This makes the comparison a little bit better in terms of just knowing exactly what it is, because here we're obviously using an integer, and of course we see exactly the same result. So with comparing two dates, you can just use standard PHP comparison operators. If you want to extract part of the date out and go ahead and check it, you just format it as per the formatting that we've already looked at, and then go ahead and compare it to whichever value you want. And of course with this as well, it makes it easy to go ahead and use a equals comparison. So we can say, does this equal, say, 2016? You could either do this in a string or as a number, and in this case we could get rid of the typecasting, and of course we see yes because it is, and of course if we change that around we don't see that block run. So really that is pretty much it in terms of comparing dates, either two dates or specific parts of the date. And of course you can do this with times as well, you just format this in a slightly different way.